Hello, dear ones. Father Peter John here, coming to you from All Saints Orthodox Church on South Fairfax Road in Bloomington, Indiana. What? Are you sure that's where you are, Father? They're saying right now. We don't remember that gigantic icon of Saint Seraphim and the bear. Surprise. So we've been making some wonderful changes and improvements in your absence, and we look forward to you seeing them when you come back. Yesterday I talked about the floors all being redone, which is great. I didn't mention that we had a crew doing some painting and freshening up things. And then actually I asked Sharon Catherine if she would paint this beautiful, almost life-size icon of Saint Seraphim and the bear here in the nursery at All Saints. So we're not using the nursery yet. It won't be in use probably for a number of weeks, just kind of until things continue to progress with the coronavirus protocols. But nonetheless, this is here, and she did a beautiful job. If you don't know the story of Saint Seraphim and the bear, I'll tell you. It's a beautiful short story, makes a good bedtime story. Saint Seraphim, at this point in his life, in this icon, he was fasting and only eating one potato per day. That was his ration. And so he would go outside and sit on his log and he would eat his potato. But one day in the winter, he heard a crunch of, sticks and leaves and things in the snow. And I don't know if it was snowing. It's green in the icon, so maybe it wasn't snowing. But he heard this crunchy crunch on the ground, and he turned and he saw this gigantic grizzly bear approaching him. Okay, now if you know anything about grizzly bears are very, very frightening. And they're big. And he saw this grizzly bear, and the grizzly bear looked at his potato and wanted to have his potato. So Saint Seraphim said to him, or her, "Listen, I can't starve to death out here, and neither can you. So I tell you what, I'm going to split my potato with you. And if you're ever hungry, you can come back and we'll share a meal together and we'll split a potato." And so he and this bear became relatively close, I guess, as close as an old saint hermit in the woods and a big grizzly bear can become. And they shared a lot of meals together, splitting potatoes. So it's a beautiful story. It's a short story with a good ending, thanks be to God. But why am I telling you this story? Other than the fact that we have this new beautiful mural in the nursery, I'm telling you this story because of the effect the Holy Spirit has in people's lives. Saint Seraphim, you'll recall, is the one who said, "Acquire the spirit of peace and thousands around you will be saved." Or acquire the Holy Spirit and thousands around you will be saved. But it's not only people who are affected by the Holy Spirit. As we know in the lives of a number of the different saints, the animals are affected as well. St. Kevin of Ireland, St. Herman of Alaska, St. Seraphim of Serov. That as these people become full of the Holy Spirit, that the animals are no longer afraid of them, and sometimes they're no longer afraid of the animals. And so, why am I telling you this then, right now? Because right now there's a lot of scary stuff going on in the world. Between the virus and the riots and heaven knows what else. There's just a lot of scary stuff going on in the world. And we have no control over what comes our way, in the sense that, situations will present themselves. Viruses will come and, riots will ensue and whatever else. It happens, right? But what we can control is how we react. And when this giant bear came to Saint Seraphim, he chose not to react by hitting the bear. He has an axe next to him. He could have done that. He chose not to react by throwing the potato at the bear in anger, trying to get the bear to leave him alone. He didn't go run and hide in his cabin. He offered to share a meal with the bear. So I encourage us all to just take that to heart. Think about, what does that mean for us? Are we going to be governed by fear and anxiety? Are we going to lash out? Are we going to hit and kick and scream? Or are we going to allow the spirit of peace to dwell in us and to guide and direct us in our responses to all those things that are happening around us? Because people are watching. They want to know what Christians look like. I think the best thing for us to do is to be Christians. Christ is in our midst. He is and ever shall be.